In July of 2009, a horrific car accident that claimed the lives of 8 people in New York led to more questions than answers in its aftermath. 36-year-old Diane Schuler drove down the wrong side of the Taconic State Parkway, crashing into an SUV. Schuler, her daughter, and her 3 nieces died in the crash, along with 3 passengers in the SUV. A bottle of vodka recovered from Schuler's car and reports that she had bought orange juice that morning seemed to solidify that it was a clear case of drinking under the influence that had gone terribly wrong. Autopsy reports confirmed that her blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit, and there was evidence of marijuana used shortly before the accident. However, Schuler's sister-in-law had spoken to her an hour and a half before the accident happened, and she did not think for 1 minute that Schuler was drunk or high. Diane Schuler's husband, Daniel, made conflicting statements about his wife's drinking, which led to speculation that she may have been an alcoholic, but her family had covered it up. Theories soon began making the rounds that Diane may have caused the crash on purpose as a way of getting back at her husband because their relationship wasn't all it had seemed to be. This theory gained traction with reports that Diane's behavior was perfectly normal while driving. The Schuler family members even filed lawsuits against one another after the accident. While it is clear that Diane Schuler was under the influence of debilitating substances, it remains unknown why she chose to ingest such an incredible amount of alcohol and drugs in such a short time and then get behind the wheel of a car with so many of her own family members alongside her. Bill and Dorothy Wacker were an average, quiet couple who lived in Ohio for most of their married life. For unknown reasons, they became the target of a violent harasser. Their torment started in 1984 and lasted until 1993. In January of 1985, after their house had been broken into and cleaned out for the 3rd time in less than a year, Bill involved the police for the first time. That same year, Dorothy was attacked in their home while recovering from a heart surgery. She allowed a man inside to use the telephone. He said goodbye after using the phone, but never left. Instead, he sneaked up behind the unsuspecting Dorothy and hit her over the head. While she was unconscious, he tied her up and gagged her, leaving her on the kitchen floor. Luckily, she escaped largely without any harm done to her. However, the harasser took several items from the house, including a revolver, watch, radio scanner, and camera. The unknown assailant returned the items to the house over the following months. The harasser began prank calling the couple, banging on their walls late at night and leaving notes on their porch and walls. Police were dumbfounded. In 1993, the criminal struck again. He attacked Dorothy, leaving her with lacerations on her skull. The Wackers tried staking out their house, hoping to catch the person tormenting them, but it was to no avail. Bill and Dorothy are both deceased now, and the person who made their lives hell was unfortunately never caught. On the 4th of June 2010, 7-year-old Kyron Horman arrived at Skyline Elementary School with his stepmom, Terry Moulton Horman. At 8:45, Terry left the school after seeing Kyron off near his classroom. One of the students later reported seeing Kyron at the south entrance to the school. When Kyron didn't appear in his homeroom class, his teacher reported him absent. When Terry went to wait for the school bus at 3:30 in the afternoon, she discovered that Kyron wasn't on the bus and had not been at school the entire day. Kyron was reported missing and a search party was formed the same day. However, the boy is still missing to this day. Suspicion fell on Terry Horman, his stepmom, but she publicly denied being involved in Kyron's disappearance in 2016. She was never named an official suspect by the authorities, despite failing 2 polygraph tests. Kyron's fate remains to be discovered. Between 1963 and 1965, Ian Brady and Myra Hindley murdered 5 children and buried 4 of their victims on Saddleworth Moor. Hindley died in 2002 and Brady died in 2017 after refusing to reveal where one of the victims, Keith Bennett, was buried. It has been thought for a long time that Keith's remains are also on Saddleworth Moor, but extensive searches have revealed nothing so far. In 2003 and 2009, special searches were launched, but nothing came of them. Ian Brady staunchly refused to help with any information during both of these searches. Keith Bennett's mother died in 2012 without being able to give her son a proper burial and farewell. Also, in 2012, Jackie Powell, an advocate for Ian Brady, claimed to have received a letter from the killer to pass on to Bennett's mom in the event of Brady's death. Powell was interrogated by police, but no letter was ever found. So that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Until the next video, goodbye.